Hello everyone, my name is Titilope Bello. Today, we'll be focusing on an important aspect of managing virtual machines in Azure, especially when it comes to configuring remote desktop settings for your virtual machine. We all know how important it is to secure your virtual machines in Azure, including other resources that you might have there as well. Preventing unauthorized access to your virtual machine is a very important aspect that must be taken into consideration. We have different ways by which you can connect to a Windows virtual machine in Azure. You can connect using remote desktop protocol. You can connect using Azure Basin. You can connect using Windows Admin Center. We are going to focus today on using remote desktop protocol. This is a common protocol that most administrators use to connect to their virtual machine. One thing we do is when we are configuring the virtual machine for remote desktop protocol, we are used to leaving the default port, which is not security best practice. For best practice, it is important that we change the default remote desktop port to a custom one. So that is going to be the focus of our walkthrough today. So to start that, we are going to log into the Azure portal. Log into portal.azure.com and select your subscription. Then under subscription, we are going to go to settings and we'll go to resources. Within the resources, you locate your virtual machine that you want to use, which in this case is VM03 SVR. I'm currently in the virtual machine um, management bleed, and here we can see the various options we talked about earlier to connect to this virtual machine. Let's make attempt to connect to the virtual machine using remote desktop. You will notice that by default, the port 3389 is what is configured for this particular virtual machine. This is the port, so we are going to change this port number to a custom one. But before we do that, let's confirm that we can connect. I'm just going to copy this IP address, open my remote desktop application, and paste the IP address in the remote desktop application with the default port number and click connect. This confirms that the default port is currently functioning. For us to change this behavior by changing the port to a custom port, the first step we need to take is to go to the network security group that is associated with this virtual machine by going to network settings, networking, then network settings. And under network settings, we are going to access the network security group for this Windows server. So we'll click the network security group. In the network security group, this is the property of the network security group. It has inbound rule and outbound rules. So the inbound rules are controlling traffic that are coming originating from outside and coming into the virtual machine. And outbound rules are managing or permitting or denying traffic that are originating from the virtual machine going outside of the VM. Now, we are going to focus on the inbound rule because we want to come from outside into the virtual machine. You will notice here the default port that we used to connect, that we're using to connect currently, which is 3389. We have it there. So we are going to be adding a custom port for RDP by clicking the add button on the top menu here. Here is a pane for the inbound rule. We need to specify the source IP, but we'll leave it as default since this NSG is strictly for this virtual machine. Then source port will also remain anything. Then destination IP, we can also leave it as default, and destination port can now be a specific. Destination port is, let's use 6,000, while the service is custom. If we drop down, you will see the default configuration or other services. If we choose this RDP, it's still going to give us the same port. So that's why we're picking custom. Now the protocol that we'll be using is TCP, and under the action we'll be allowing um, the connection. Priority, we have to change priority to a lower number. If you look at what we have here, the current RDP is 300. That is because the higher the number, the higher the number, the lower the priority. In order for this new rule to be above the default RDP, we have to use a number that is less than 300. We can use 280, and then we can give it a name, a meaningful name, and click add. After adding this, let's test if we can do RDP to the server right now. So we're going to open remote desktop application again and try to connect. This is the IP we connected to earlier. Now we're going to use the new port. This is the default behavior. It will fail. The reason why it will fail is because Windows or every computer also have its own inbuilt firewall that you must permit a particular service that you want that computer or machine to listen to. So likewise, the Windows virtual machines that we are talking about here also have inbuilt firewall, and this network security group is only managing security on the network level, not at the operating system level. So we need to go into the virtual machine and configure the window firewall to allow that custom port as well. Remember, we're already connected with default port. So go to start and search for Windows Defender, Windows Defender with Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security. Likewise, we'll go into the inbound rule here, and on the action pane, click new rule. Select port and click next. That is because we will be specifying the port number. Specify your port number 6,000, just like the one in NSG. Click next. Leave every other setting as default setting and click next. Then we can give it also here a meaningful name to help us quickly remember what it's being used for. You can put a description, but we'll leave it as that, and we click finish. Now this is configured. It will have been that we'll be able to also connect, but there's additional security that will not allow us to just easily connect. So we have to also do one extra step by going into the registry editor to update the port number that the registry has recognized for RDP on this machine. So we will search for reg edit, meaning registry editor, and click to open. Now under local machine, expand it, then go to system, then go to current control set, expand it, and then we'll select control, expand control, then we scroll down and select terminal server, expand that as well. In this terminal server, locate Win stations and expand. Then locate RDP TCP. Here, just click on the RDP TCP key. Then we'll be able to see the settings for that. Now let's locate port number. Here is the port number. If you notice, it is carrying 3389. So we need to update it to the new custom port. Select decimal to see the actual port and then change this to 6000. Okay, so after this change, to take effect, we need to quickly reboot this machine. Okay, once the machine finishes restarting, then we can test connecting to it using the custom port that we have created, that we just created in the change to within the window. So let's go in again. Okay, that's finished restarting. Okay, now you can see that we are able to connect to the Windows virtual machine using the custom port we just created. That's how easy it is for us to change from default port to a custom port, and then we have been able to confirm as well. So the next thing we have to do is to do a little bit of clean up by either disabling or denying traffic access for this traffic, or deleting the rule completely. For a neater view of our NSG, we just go ahead to delete this rule. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this particular session. And that wraps up our tutorial on configuring RDP to your virtual machine in Azure using a custom port number. By taking this extra step, you have added an additional layer of security to your virtual machine environment, making it more resilient against unauthorized access. Remember, securing your infrastructure is a continuous process, and small changes like this can make a significant impact. If you find this video or this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Azure tips and tricks. Thanks for watching, and happy cloud computing. See you next time. Bye.